we be covering today? So I'll be taking you through colour analysis, why it's important and how it works, the different seasons that people talk about when they refer to colour analysis. So that's obviously winter, summer, autumn and spring. How to wear your colours, so the outfit combinations that you can go for, the jewellery, makeup, and a little bit about psychology of colour as well. And as we age, how does this affect our season of colours? So if we choose to embrace the grey, what should we start to think about when we put our outfits together for the rest of the day? So colour analysis is looking at the colours that you wear close to your face that are your most flattering. And the way that colour analysis, the way that I've been trained, is through what's called the draping method. So there are two sets of drapes that I work with. One is the determining drapes, and this, once we get to the end of using the determining drapes, you will know whether you are a winter, summer, autumn or spring. And then once you know your season, we will then go through the next set of drapes, and that will be drapes that are in your season of colours. And we will try those on and we will see the effect that it has on your skin tone, and we will try and find those colours that are your wow colours, so those ones that you look the most amazing in. And then we'll also look at colour combinations, so how you can wear the colours in your colour wallet and how you can mix and match them to create different looks. So for each season there are three key elements. So for example, one of them is cool versus warm. Now this refers to your skin tone. If you have a cool skin tone, you have what's called a blue undertone. If you have a warm skin tone, it's a yellow undertone to your skin. So for somebody like myself, I am a summer and I have a cool skin tone. So that means I have that blue undertone to my skin. The next element, so if you think of it on a spectrum, is bright versus muted. So at one end of the spectrum, you'll have characteristics that are very bright. And if you're at the other end of the spectrum, you'll have characteristics that are very muted. So muted means that the colours of your characteristics are very close together. So for example, your hair colour, your eye colour, your eyebrow colour, all very similar in tone. And then light versus deep. So again, the two ends of the spectrum, at one end you've got light and at the other end you've got deep. So for each season, there are three elements. So as it says there, winter, for example, is cool. So the person will have a cool skin tone. They'll have some sort of brightness about them. Now, for some people with a winter season of colours, they'll have really bright jet black hair, for example. And then there is a deepness about the look. So that might come through with the really deep, dark hair colour. So to give you a few examples, this is obviously Dame Judi Dench, and she is classed as a winter. So her characteristics are cool, bright and deep. And for most people who sit under the winter season of colours, there is a natural look of being dramatic, bold and strong. So she's one example. And if you're a winter, that is the one season where you can wear the colour black. Ideally, everybody else, if you sit in any of the other three seasons, you should not be wearing the colour black, especially close to your face, because that's obviously where we see the most difference to our complexion. For summers, so cool, muted and light, there is a natural look of summer, can be elegant, soft, and it's your typical English rose. When someone refers to an English rose look, in the majority, they would tend to be a summer season of colours. And as you can see here, we've got people like Twiggy, and also Sienna Miller, so on the bottom right. And as you can see, the colours that she's wearing are paler, more muted, they're softer colours. Twiggy is wearing the brighter, bolder versions that appear in summer, so the stronger colours. But still, the overall look is one of being a cool skin tone, muted and light. And then we've got autumn, so warm is one of the characteristics, so that's a warm skin tone, muted and deep. And for a natural look of somebody who sits in that autumn season of colours, is that rich, earthy and burnished sort of look. So we've got Jennifer Aniston there, and also Cindy Crawford. And as you can see with Cindy, she's got the chestnut brown sort of hair, her eyebrows and her eye colour. They're all very similar in tone, and that's where that muted category, that muted element comes in. And then obviously she's got the darkness that goes with her hair colour and also her eye colour. And her skin tone is warm, so it's got the yellow undertone to the skin. And then last but not least is someone who sits as a spring season of colours. And this is warm, bright and light. So vivid, lively, golden, sun-kissed. So if you think of somebody like Cameron Diaz, her skin tone will again be warm, and there is a brightness. So the brightness is coming through with the piercing blue eye colour, and also the hair colour is quite bright. And you've got a lightness there, so overall there is a feeling of light, of it being quite a fresh look. So if you're struggling to think about the colours that fall within each of the different seasons, think about what happens in nature. So at springtime, there will obviously be the bright yellow daffodils out. At winter time, there will be the bright red berries on holly, for example. So it gives you a very good indication of the type of colours that fall under each of the different seasons. But there is a red that is suitable for everybody. So for example, for a spring, it would be more of that corally red. And for winters and summers, it would be more of a true bluey type red, because of the coolness that needs to come through when wearing that red colour. So how to wear your colours. Once you know what season you are, that will give you an indication of whether you have a cool skin tone or a warm skin tone. If your skin tone is cool, then ideally you should be wearing silver jewellery and cool toned makeup. So for example, a blue undertone blusher, lipstick. So that's in the main is that pink spectrum of colours. If you're on the warm skin tone, then you'd be looking at wearing gold jewellery and warm toned makeup. So yellow undertoned blusher and lipstick. So it's more of that corally spectrum. And as Trini said recently on the 26th of April in the Daily Mail, everyone can wear every colour, you just have to choose the right shade for you. So for a winter, they can wear black, but ideally other seasons shouldn't be wearing black, but there is a neutral colour in every other season. So for example, for a summer, their more neutral building block colours would be a navy blue. So the psychology of colour absolutely fascinates me. There is a lot of research into this, and obviously companies use the psychology of colour a lot when they're thinking about the brand for their company and the image and impression that they want to create through using their different brand colours. If you think about red, it conjures up for most people the feeling of ambition, energy, confidence, somebody being quite a passionate person. Whereas on the other extreme, you've got green, you know, which is more to do with nature, tranquility, health, a sense of calm. And Pantone's colour of the year for 2020 is classic blue. And this is instilling calm, confidence and connection. So when you're putting outfits together, you can also think about the type of impression that you want to create through the outfits that you're wearing. And, you know, you can use any colour combination and you can then create different looks. So be very careful when wearing the colour red, for example. You know, some people react well to reds, other people don't. And if you're meeting a client, for example, for the first time, and you want to not offend them in any way, then red actually might not be the right colour to go for. You might want to go for a blue outfit, a navy outfit instead. And the reason for this is that some people can feel that red is too strong a colour. The person can almost come across as being a little bit arrogant, a little bit too confident. And a lot of that is to do with somebody's personality as well. So their impression of somebody wearing red can come from whether a person is an introvert or an extrovert. Now, if you're more introverted, you're more likely to wear more muted, more subtle colours. Whereas if you're more of an extrovert, then you're more likely to wear brighter, stronger, more dominant colours. So the big thing to think about is the colour that is closest to your face. You know, if you are a summer, for example, and ideally you shouldn't be wearing black, it is okay, in my opinion, to be wearing black trousers because it's not close to your face. The biggest difference will come and the biggest effect you will see is the colour that is closest to your face. So ideally you want people's attention to be on what's called the influencing triangle, and that can be found here. You know, that's this area here. So you want people's attention to be in this area. So from just below your shoulders all the way up to the top of your head, you want people's attention to be kept in that area. And by wearing colour in this area, whether that's through earrings, necklace, makeup, or a top, a coloured top, you will start to keep the person's attention in that area. So as we age, we want to make sure that we embrace colour a little bit more. Our skin tone starts to lose pigmentation, starts to lose colour. So introducing colour back into our overall image is really key. So that could be through wearing the correct tone of makeup for you, or that could be through wearing the correct colours closest to your face. You know, you're going to be introducing colour and you will start to see that effect and the brightness that it can bring to your face, and it can make you look healthier, a lot more vibrant, just a lot more alive. If, for example, I was to put on a corally red colour, because it's more of a warm undertone, that will clash with the blue undertone of my skin, and it will actually make me look that bit more sallow. And the only time that I can actually start to embrace more of the warm tones and edge towards the warm tones is when my skin starts to warm up through having more of a suntan. But if we're talking the winter months, I definitely need to make sure that I keep with the cool tones. Otherwise it makes creating a look very difficult, because you've got makeup that might be warm, but your hair colour, for example, and the clothes that you're wearing are cool, so that you don't have that blended look. It's a bit more of a jarring look. So what you're aiming for when you have your colours done is an overall blending where there is a seamless transition between your face through to the colours that you're wearing. What you don't want to see is your top and the colour of your top is standing out much more than the overall impression that you want to give. So you want, as I say, a nice blended, complementary overall look. And as we embrace the grey, obviously it would depend on the type of grey that your hair colour comes through. So some grey can be very vibrant, can be very bright, and other grey can be a lot more dull, and it can be a lot more muted in its tones. So when you do start to embrace grey, think about, you know, which category, where your grey hair fits, and then try and complement the grey with different colours. So if you do have a brightness to your grey, you might actually want to think about wearing brighter colours, you know, vibrant reds, for example, maybe even, you know, blues and navies, just colours that are stronger, so that it complements the grey that is coming through. A question that I get asked a lot is it possible to transition between being one season and another? Now, it is possible to transition across, but only within the spectrum of cool or warm. So, for example, autumn and spring both have that warm undertone to their colours. And so you can transition between the two in the same way as you can transition between being a summer and a winter, or winter and a summer. You know, as your skin changes as we get older, and that could be more pigmentation, it could be less pigmentation because your skin tone loses the pigmentation, but it could be that you get more pigmentation because of things like hormones, and maybe your skin becomes more red, or you're embracing the grey, and so your hair colour changes, in which case the colours in your colour wallet, those that will be your wow colours, might alter. So there is a little bit of experimenting as we get older, and I think that's why I tend to see a lot of clients who are in that, you know, 45 to 65 age group, because they will have had their colours done when they were a lot younger, but now that the grey is coming through, they've lost their way a little bit as to which colours to embrace in their colour wallet. And what I like to do is, by the end of a colour session with you, I'd like you to understand the theory of colour analysis and how it works. Excuse me, so that you can actually go out into the shops and, yes, take your colour wallet with you the first few times, but actually where you want to get to is that you understand the whole process of colour analysis, so that you can look at a colour, you can look at an item of clothing and think, okay, yes, that falls within the summer season, or it falls within the autumn season. And, you know, colour is constantly evolving, and different companies like Pantone are creating different colours. So you need to be able to understand the theory, and not just rely on your colour wallet and taking that with you every time. And I look forward to seeing you on my next class. Thank you.